The Phoenix Suns just matched the Indiana Pacers 4-year, $133 million offer sheet for the restricted free agent DeAndre Ayton, clearing the way for him to return to the franchise. The Suns had until midnight Saturday to match the largest offer sheet in history, but they ended up matching the contract immediately after the Pacers ultimately gave him the contract. Phoenix showed no inclination to negotiate a sign-and-trade agreement with Indiana prior to Ayton. So, the Suns, they didn't hesitate, which who would? Any person who wants to keep, who wants to get rid of a player like DeAndre Ayton, only 23 years old and can give you a 20 and 10 on any single night. All this news just unfolded and we're going to cover it in this video. But before we talk about it, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell to stay tuned with the breaking news. And with all that being said, let's get straight into the video. So now the Phoenix Suns can't trade Ayton until January 15th, and they can't trade him for a full year without his consent. This means that DeAndre Ayton is out of any possible offseason trade scenario involving the Brooklyn Nets star Kevin Durant. Obviously, we know that Kevin Durant, there's been kind of a hiatus in trade talks between any team, to be honest, with the Brooklyn Nets. And it seems like Kevin Durant's going to stay with, the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie. Obviously, Ayton wanted the 5-year max with 8% escalators each season, but the Suns were not willing to do that. They wanted to give him the 4 years, so now the Suns ate their own words and have him at 4 years at only a 5% raise each year. So they did save a good chunk of money, but I mean, really, how do you guys think that DeAndre Ayton feels? I don't know if he wants to still stay on the Suns team. Who knows what the chemistry is going to be like. We've seen at the end of the season last year how that panned out. But let's hear to Woj and see what Woj thinks on this scenario.
Malika, ultimately, they didn't value DeAndre Ayton at a max contract, max money. And so they, I think, had doubts that anybody else in the league who could create cap space would also value him at a max. They challenged his agents, Bill Duffy, Nima Namakian, to go out and get an offer sheet. This is restricted free agency. This is what it's about. You don't lose the player. You get a chance to match the offer sheet. That's what they did. 4 years, $133 million. But this process does create acrimony, and certainly it was felt in Phoenix, I think especially at the end of last season by DeAndre Ayton. And now when you match the offer sheet, you get DeAndre Ayton back. Now there's some mending that has to go on, and I think especially Monty Williams, Chris Paul, the leadership of that Suns team. Listen, they're uniquely able to go and do that. Monty Williams has had a very strong relationship overall with DeAndre Ayton, but it gets tested in this process. But he's got the contract now. He's got max money, just like those in his draft class who came behind him. Luka Doncic, Trae Young among them. And I think once DeAndre Ayton gets back to Phoenix, gets back to work, certainly he understands this is a team that again this year has a chance to compete for a championship, and they'll figure this out. He'll fit back in and they'll go back to work.
So we heard what Woj had to say about the relationship now and how it can be mended back. But, the dude was only unhappy because the Suns didn't want to pay him. That's the real truth. But now that he got his money, let's see how repairing the relationship will go, because there's two sides to it. There could be one side where DeAndre Ayton is ultimately offended that, it took all this drama to happen for the Pacers to offer me and you guys had to match it. It could go like that scenario where DeAndre Ayton feels offended, or it could be a situation where it's like, I just got paid the max by the team I want to stay on. We're a contending team. We got Devin Booker and CP3. We got Monty Williams as the head coach, a decent bench depth, and we were the number one team in our conference last year. Let's run it back, and I'm happy. So that no one can predict. No one can predict that right now, but ultimately the Suns ended up paying less than they would with the 5-year contract, but let's see how the relationship goes with the Suns team. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I think DeAndre Ayton will go back fine with Devin Booker and CP3, and I don't believe that the chemistry is going to be, off, or there's going to be any problems that way. But let me know in the comments section your thoughts and opinion on this news. Obviously, the news came out yesterday, and A lot of people are talking about it, so let me know in the comment section. Subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell so you don't miss another video. And with all that being said, I'm out. Peace.